Karen Black, a major star, creates a television first.
There's a golden chain wrapped around it to keep the spirit from making the doll come to life.
Face to face with the unbearable unknown. Trilogy of Terror.
Welcome to the latest episode of the podcast that wouldn't die. I'm your host, Kevin. With me, as always, is Aaron. Woo! This week, we'll be discussing the horror classic Trilogy of Terror, starring Karen Black, and Karen Black.
Yeah, this movie, of course, is a little problematic, but I still stand by. At least it's worth the first two to watch the last one. That's all I have to say. Also, I had to drink a coffee like right before this, so eventually I might be a little too hyper. Just saying.
Thanks for the heads up. No, I had heard of Trilogy of Terror. I had never seen it before. So when I saw the runtime of 71 minutes, I'm like, what is this movie?
That's literally like an hour long. It's like 2 minutes.
It is. Basically, it's a made-for-TV movie, which is something else I did not realize.
Well, yeah, that's basically it. Is it a movie?
It was made for TV. So it's still,
right.
You're not getting an Oscar for this one. Maybe an Emmy. I don't know.
Maybe an Emmy. It's a movie-ish?
Is there a category in the Emmys for best made-for-TV movie? I don't know. I never watched the Emmys. Could be anything.
I bet there used to be.
It's entirely possible. Aaron, give us your 30-second synopsis of Trilogy of Terror.
So Trilogy of Terror is kind of like Creepshow, but not as good. Whereas you have a trilogy, 3 little movies in one movie, each starring the same lead, Karen Black, with her crazy cross eyes.
Yes.
People can't decide if she's sexy or if she's special. We don't know.
I've made a decision on that, by the way.
You've made the final decision. Now, of course, 150 years ago, Karen and I went to a Fangoria convention just to see Rob Zombie and Karen Black. And then eventually just bailed out on the whole thing once we saw that we might A, have to pay, or B, wait more than 5 minutes to see them.
Okay, this is such baloney. We did not go there for Rob Zombie or for Karen Black. They happened to be there.
What were we there for?
Just because it was it was like the convention was like in Long Beach. It was like right there. Hey, let's hit it. Why not?
Dude, I was there to see effing Karen Black. I'd never been to one of these awkward convention things. Literally, I had no idea. I thought you paid all that money to get in. Then I thought you talked to the stars and stuff. No, they're sitting at picnic tables that they pulled out of their old broken down vans. Poor old celebrities from 30 years past trying to hawk autograph pictures of themselves for $10 a pop. And some tables had 900 people, and other tables, there was I was afraid to make eye contact. Yes. I didn't know where to look because the look of pity on my face was overwhelming.
Yes, this is a sad reality. So we're going off on this tangent. Fangoria convention. We actually did sit through the Rob Zombie press conference for House of a Thousand Corpses, which had Rob Zombie and Karen Black. I'm sure they're Sherry Moon Zombie was there, I'm sure. And we hadn't seen House of a Thousand Corpses. And frankly, I wish I had never seen House of a Thousand Corpses. Not
Rob
a good
Zombie
one.
He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I don't know.
I always say about Rob Zombie, he's like somebody who knows what's supposed to be in horror, but he kind of pours it into a blender and just rips it up. And as long as it's loud and has a lot of heavy metal music in the background, good enough is basically his attitude. I disagree.
It's homemade. Be like a Jeff Koons. Come up with the idea and then give it to someone else to put together. What's wrong with that?
He's like Aaron, more of an idea person, if you know what I mean.
I'm an idea person. Whoop, whoop.
Now, the other thing about these conventions, like you said, is it's actors who are not, on their best day, they're kind of cult favorites, perhaps.
People from the original Star Trek. There was a lady from the original Star Trek, and I didn't know who she was.
Well, not a regular cast member. She was like a red shirt who came down on a planet and got killed by a squid creature or something.
So you totally knew who she was?
No, I have no idea. But that's what we're talking about. And I've been to these kind of things before. They have these from time to time before COVID, whereas like you would pay, your $10 and it would just be a convention center of these kind of actors, vaguely celebrity, vaguely. You'd walk around and they would sell, give me $10. You can take your picture with me, $5 for a signed autograph picture, blah, 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 whatever it is. And I don't, besmirch them for wanting to make a little money. They got to pay their bills too. But I will never pay somebody for an autograph or a photo or anything like that. It makes
the whole thing just made me feel sad and uncomfortable.
Right. So I've been in that situation where you're walking around seeing and I went to a different convention. This wasn't a horror convention, but there's like Schneider from One Day at a Time is sitting there. Snyder, whatever his name was, the handyman.
We used to call him Schneider back in the day.
Okay, you were the ones then, I guess. $20 for a photograph, and I'm just like, yes, I know who you are, but no, I don't care enough to do those things. So you just kind of walk around. You don't want to make eye contact because it's true. They're looking at you going, what do you think? Come on,
please. I've been here for hours. No one's coming. I need gas money to get home. And you're like,
So, but the other convention I went to, there were like recognizable, like there's, the cast of My Two Dads is there. There's Tom Bosley was in the corner signing something. Christy Swanson's over here. Taylor Dane was there. It was a very eclectic mix. Richard Kiel, who played Jaws from the James Bond movies, was there.
Now I'll give him $10.
I ain't giving anybody a fat, shiny buffalo head nickel.
You just kind of stand out of the way and do a fake little selfie with him in the background there somewhere.
No, I wouldn't do that either because that's kind of effed. But it's it's not my style. I'm not paying for these things. Again, God bless you. If you want to sit at the convention center and people want to give you money, go do your thing. But it's just not my thing, is all I'm saying. But at the Fangoria, like you were saying, it was like, are these celebrities? I mean, I guess they were they were the first kill in New Year's Evil Part 6 or something. They're like, I haven't even seen this movie, much less who the first kill was.
And I don't remember this even being that big.
No, it wasn't.
Like if you go to a wedding at the Holiday Inn, but it's not that many people, how they kind of close off part of the room. That's what we're talking about.
Right.
And I think there was a special effects dude that had a lot of people waiting to see him. But I didn't know anybody.
I remember there was that dude, Richard Lynch.
Was it Rick Baker or somebody there?
If he was there, that would have been pretty impressive. But there was a guy, Richard Lynch, who played like the evil Russian KGB agent in Invasion USA starring Chuck Norris. I remember him being there. But again, not somebody I'm rushing up to get his autograph. But anyway, we digress. Trilogy of Terror.
Why were we there? Just to see Karen Black?
You were there to see Karen Black. I was there because it seemed like a fun way to spend a Saturday afternoon.
I mean, it was a fun way to spend the Saturday afternoon, but there was literally nothing else going on but the preview for the Rob Zombie movie and then lining up to get your picture took with them.
I think it's possible there were other press conferences for other, the dead hate the living or, that kind of quality, of a horror film. There were other like sneak previews. There were other things going on, but just things we didn't give a damn about and therefore did not put in our long-term memory.
Yeah, it's in my mind, we were there for like a half an hour and then peeled out.
It was probably close to that. Because you're right. It's like after you've seen the 15 quote unquote celebrities and you're like, I've seen the one press conference. I don't need to get in line for the next one of something I don't give a damn about. Moving on. So sad situation.
I mean, I would have had my picture took with Karen Black for free, but I didn't want to stand in that line. I was like, I
don't think you're getting it for free, by the way, at the Fangoria. They ain't no freebies.
I had a small child at the time. I can't be paying people.
We paid $10 to get in. What does that get us?
That should get us something. That should give us a handshake of Karen Black for $10. charges $50, and then we don't have to go to the sad tables.
It's true. Just mail me the signatures. That's all I need. Go ahead.
I don't even ask celebrities for signatures, because then what? What do I do with that?
No.
I want to throw it on the ground?
Well-
It gets washed in the laundry in my pocket?
And there's $50 down the drain. Very sad situation.
Womp.
Go ahead.
We have a relative who likes to get his picture took with all the celebs, though. Sports celeb.
In real life, I'm not approaching celebrities. Period.
But sports celebrities?
No. In real life, if I'm at the movies or I'm walking down the street, I'm at Vaughn's or whatever, and I see a celebrity doing their thing, I'm not approaching them.
No.
I'm not doing that. Not my cup of tea.
I get excited. I might text someone, "Hey, so-and-so's at the Quickie Mart."
That's what you get. No question.
That's about as far as it goes.
Not doing it. But at least then you don't have the sad puppy dog eyes as they as they approach you. Hey, how about $5 for an autograph? It's like, well, I normally don't pay for my autographs, but in your case, I'll make an exception. Thank you. Here all week.
Womp, 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 womp. Well, there's our review of Fangoria, kids.
Yes.
So maybe it's different now.
I don't think it is. Trilogy of Terror. Give us your 30-second synopsis, for God's sake.
Trilogy of Terror goes like this. School teacher with a lust for blood. Second story. Split personality. Darkwing, Lightwing. The last one. Amelia. That's the one. With the little... There it is. That's my review. Stab, stab, stab. Still great. Still fantastic. Fast forward through the first two stories. The first two stories are like low-level 1968 Hammer films. I mean, not even that quality.
Well, I think the idea is they're kind of low-rent Twilight Zone episodes is really what they come across to me like. If they just pick 3 random, not even the good ones, but 3 random Twilight Zone episodes and like tied them together and turned that into a made-for-TV movie, that's Trilogy of Terror.
The first two stories are not memorable in any way whatsoever.
Well, they make no... Okay, before we get to all that good stuff, do you remember if you saw this like on TV when it was on? When did you first see this?
For sure, I'm sure I rented this.
I had heard of this. I had never had the misfortune of seeing it. So you ride and die with Trilogy of Terror. This is your thing.
I still ride and die, but not with the full trilogy.
Just the third.
Of course. You got it. The third story is the only story to even waste your time. In fact, I got all excited. I was at a used record store in like Italy, and they had a VCR case in the window. Do you know what that movie was, Kevin?
Trilogy of Terror?
That is correct. In Italiano.
In Italiano. Now, I know in some countries, they actually, they feel that the third movie is too violent to show on regular TV. So they just call it the, Terror Duo or something like that. So they only show the 2 extra crappy episodes.
The first 2 episodes, it wouldn't be the Terror Duo. It'd be like... movies to put you to sleep.
Trilogy of Boredom.
Insomnia. You just kind of put that on and you slide right into slumber.
Right, gentle slumber. Very sad. Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay,
I think you can watch it on the Calm app. I think I saw that ad during the Super Bowl.
Insomnia? How about the terror? Yeah. I have to tell you, there's no terror in any of these shows.
Okay, no. I'm sorry. What?
You felt terror even in the third? I mean, third one you love, obviously.
The third one was diggity. It is terrifying.
Terrifying.
Oh my God, but that thing is putting a knife under the door. Okay, we got to talk. Okay,
it is 6 inches tall.
He is an evil spirit.
You're an evil spirit. Are you possessed by the Zuni fetish doll? What the hell is happening?
My gold belt just fell off. Look out. Look out. All right, let's talk about the first 2 drags before we get to the special surprise. The first movie is about an Amish or
Yes.
virginal or one step from the convent teacher who gets blackmailed. Gets before roofies. He had some magical pixie dust that knocked her square on her ass, where he then raped her.
Yes.
And took pictures of it and used it to blackmail her into continuing to have sex with
Right.
him.
He turns her into his sex slave, essentially. And it goes on and on and on until at the 11th hour, she's like, you know what? I'm kind of over this now. And he's like, what do you mean?
Bored.
Who cares what you think? You're my slave. And she's like, yeah, sorry. Didn't you find it? So then there's the grand reveal, because at the beginning of the episode, he was the guy who's in her class. I'm assuming this is college because he's 40 if he's a day, right? It's a junior college extension.
Yep.
And he was I guess he's supposed to be the big man on campus. He's just breaking hearts left and right. And he just gets his eye on the teacher suddenly, spontaneously, like, oh, I have a weird thought. I think I'm going to make a run at the Amish teacher, Sarah Plain and Tall up there. I'm going to take a swing. Now the reveal is, and there's no explanation. Evidently, what? She used magic powers to get her to.
I can't figure out. In the reality is, she wouldn't even need magic, because all she did was just like, hey, this was my thing all along. I knew what was going on. I do this shit all the time. And now I'm bored with you, so I have poisoned you, and now I'm going to laugh as you die. And then I move on to another mid-state junior college.
Right. So that's the reveal, that even though you think she's the victim, really she's the predator. But
you see, this is really a women's right thing. This is clearly, what was the name of that movie?
Promising Young Woman.
She's a promising young woman, just with a little twist.
Right, but the twist is never fully explained. How she basically ensorcelled his mind to make him give a damn. Because even his buddy's like, her? Why is she the one you're after, buddy?
Because she's easily blackmailed, I think. The way she was portraying herself as like an innocent, she would be like, oh my God, I can't get these pictures out. Whereas somebody who's stronger would be like, F you.
I'm going to the cops.
I'm going to the cops. Right. I'm going to the university. You're going to be expelled. He was a predator looking for a victim. And so that's what she was playing. Even her roommates don't know who she is.
Right.
They're like, you need to come out. If you just put a little lipstick on, you could be pretty too.
There is that moment. But you're right, because it's like the roommate's like, hey, what's wrong? You're not acting like yourself. And you're like, why aren't you even telling your roommate? Why are you keeping a secret? So you're right. It's like, it could have just been, he's a predator going after kind of people he perceives as victims, and he was just mistaken in this case. Yeah. But that's not what happens.
That's it.
It literally, she says, didn't you ever wonder why you suddenly became interested in me? Like, she kind of says these of veiled things like, and she, like, is she a witch? Is this voodoo? I mean, what is, there's no explanation.
So you're saying he wasn't a sex predator?
No, he was a sex predator, but he was doing it to hotter chicks.
Okay. Well, then there you go.
That's awesome.
So either way, this is clearly an episode on feminism. So
right.
That's what you get. Don't be giving the roofies to the ladies. They could be witches.
Well, and it's really kind of shocking when you realize what his plan is. Where it's like, I'm a rapist. I want that out there. I want the world to know I'm a rapist.
I have business cards that say so.
Yes. I'm drugging you. I'm raping you while you're unconscious, and I'm taking pictures so that the next time I take a swing at you, I'm blackmailing you into continuing this relationship.
Right. So now I don't have to drug you. Now you're my slave.
Right. Good Lord.
It's human trafficking.
Human trafficking. Well, because
he just has to take over the state line.
That's we got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Anyway, so that's the twist of the first episode. Oh, sweet Jesus. And it's all downhill from there. So what's the second episode?
And honestly, the first episode's better than the second episode.
It makes even less sense.
So the second episode is you have Millicent, and then I didn't
Therese.
even write down, and Therese. So I wrote down Millicent, toenails in the ashtray.
Yes.
And what kind of a doctor? Oh, yeah, there was a doctor.
Yes.
And I'm not sure what he was. Is he a medical doctor? Is he a psychiatrist?
Yes. The reveal we're supposed to think is that, because she, there's the two twin sisters who are.
But we don't know that.
Well, we
know it's twin sisters.
Yes.
Sorry.
Two twin sisters who are bitching to their doctor about each other. And the grand reveal, because she's like, I'm using, like in one of her letters she's writing to the doctor, there's the voiceover of going to use voodoo against my twin sister.
Oh, yeah, she tells everybody her sister is a witch.
Horrible.
She studies the dark arts, that she's rubbing up against daddy, and then they became lovers, and this and that. And then the doctor's like, I thought we weren't going to talk to her anymore. I'm not. And she's like writing in her diary. Today, my whore sister Therese is banging on my door, but I'm just ignoring her.
That is correct.
I'm like, move out, get a job at McDonald's or something.
What? It's like going through the library.
I can never leave the mansion because I'm not trained to do anything. Sell the mansion. Get an apartment.
So
move in with the chick from the first story.
Exactly. Why not? So the doctor, when she says, I'm going to take care of my sister once and for all, the doctor's rushing to get there because I think the reveal is this is her psychiatrist who realizes she's about to commit suicide unwittingly because her two different personalities are so advanced that they are unaware that they're split personalities.
I mean, it's so ridiculous. Yes. So the main storyteller is Millicent, which of course has like your half a nun name. Yes. And it's her natural brown hair because, brown-haired people are good. And then a little while later, in rolls Karen Black looking extra cross-eyed with the shittiest Spirit Halloween Superstore blonde white wig and like a go-go outfit with go-go
That
boots.
Is correct. So she's in trouble. She's bad
Even
news.
now, she's about 20 years too old to be wearing this outfit.
This is true. There is the scene when Millicent is going through the library talking about, there's books on demonology, witchcraft, and pornography. What kind of, it's well stocked in all areas. And not to mention the one voodoo book she pulls off the shelf is clearly painted on, like the label, and they misspelled voodoo. Good times.
It's good time. It's ridiculous. It's a lot of the Millicent just writing in her diary, bitching and moaning. I'm like, I'm sure the psychiatrist was like, I've had about it.
I'm gonna need a raise.
Maybe he implanted the idea. Well, maybe you should poison your sister.
Maybe. Well, and that's kind of the thing where it's like, here are these kind of interesting, I guess, concepts where they kind of shoehorn some supernatural crap in there that doesn't exactly work, right? The first one, it's like, I guess she's a witch. This one is, I guess voodoo is real. It's not just split personalities.
Voodoo is real in Pasadena.
That's correct.
Yeah, and then her sister just like goes around, runs through the neighborhood, smashing doll heads and pushing over old people and sleeping with whatever swings by.
That is correct. All of that is true. There's that scene where it's, Therese smashed my dolly. Oh.
Your sister's so mean. Oh my God. Your parents would have been running out the door going after the crazy neighbor who's assaulting children.
Of course.
So stupid.
Well, go ahead.
And then one of Teresa's lovers show up, who ends up being later on Cagney on Lacey. I was like, he's kind of attractive. And then I click ahead 10 years. Oh, Lord, he's that detective from Cagney and Lacey. I was like, oh, he had a brief and shining moment.
Neither Cagney nor Lacey. So, right. Yeah. So it's that thing. Whenever there are these situations where it's like multiple personality disorder, I wonder, do people know? You know what I mean? Do the neighbors know that there's the crazy lady next door who has two different personalities? Or is it just this tightly guarded secret that only the doctor's aware of?
Well, because did you ever watch that show, The United States of Terror?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
That was the best. So her characters had outfits and everything that they wore. But is it possible that you have a multiple personality situation where everybody's just chill?
I guess not, because it takes trauma. Like, I'm not trained. I'm an amateur psychotherapist, no training.
All my knowledge comes from television.
That is correct. So that's almost as good. I do my own research.
On Wikipedia.
That's correct. But you figure there's some trauma that has caused this schism to occur. So they're not going to be chill theoretically, but who the... Anyway, so there's a double twist. The twist is voodoo's real because Millicent makes a voodoo doll and then stabs it in the heart with a needle and then kills herself.
Well, I guess Millicent's the witch.
Millicent, yes. She's a voodoo practitioner. Yes.
Well, she is now.
She is now.
Yeah, I mean, now I forgot what I was going to say.
Whatever. Sweet Jesus.
So we're 3/4 done with the movie.
We're 2/3 done with the movie. We don't teach math in this class. Right. And, okay. So our
podcast is 10 minutes in. We're almost done reviewing the whole movie.
Yes. Well, and this is the other thing. This is basically the Karen Black showcase, where it's like somebody was like, we need more Karen Black. Karen Black's got to star in every episode. The main character. So
that's right. She's rolling off her heat from Bonnie and Clyde. So boom.
Yeah. Do you remember her in Bonnie and Clyde? I think she was in 10 minutes of the movie. I'm sure that's what it was. She was the wacky. Well, she's also the love interest in 5 Easy Pieces with Jack Nicholson.
I don't think I ever saw that.
He was.
That smells like a Western.
No, he was a trained classical musician who worked as an oil worker, because he kind of cast off the wealthy family to go follow the beat of his own drum. And Karen Black is like the waitress who he's with, but doesn't really give a damn about. So good times.
Interesting. No, I've heard of it. I had no idea. Thanks. You know, the good thing about this podcast is it's so educational. Here we have taught people about multiple personalities based on Google searches and TV shows. Mostly Quincy. And now we've learned about the famous movie 5 Easy Pieces.
I think it was nominated for Academy Awards. Absolutely. So there you go.
That doesn't mean I'm going to watch it.
Doesn't mean you need to. Although we watched Trilogy of Terror, so anything's possible.
Was that nominated?
It was nominated for
Did you Google?
a foot in the ass.
Was it for a daytime Emmy?
It was, yes. It was a made-for-TV movie shown only during the daytime. Absolutely.
Was it? Are we sure it wasn't like an after-school special or something?
It was. Daddy drinks too much. It was Sally eats something, and then it was Trilogy of Terror. That's what it was. After-school special.
I mean, if you look at it, there are the warnings of witchcraft all through it. So
there is. There we go. Okay.
This is probably like secretly like the LDS bankrolled this. This could be like another Ed Wood classic.
Well, secretly LDS bankrolled, if I remember, Carnival of Souls. So you got to check that one out. They didn't actually bankroll. Right. I mean, they kind of bankrolled it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The third and final offering.
Now, this is it, man. This is the one.
Hit me.
This is where Karen shines. Karen frickin' shines. Again, she's playing this kind of wacky, repressed with a woman with a domineering mother who's finally like got a sublet. She's out from under her claws. She's literally the worst girlfriend in the world.
Yes.
So she's got a hot date because it's her boyfriend, the anthropologist's birthday. So she waits till 2 minutes till she's supposed to be with her mother to cancel it, where the mother cries. And it seems like she's not going to go to her mother's. And then all of a sudden, she decides to go to her mother's after all. Anyway, she buys her boyfriend this Zuni fetish doll, which is about, I don't know, 2 feet, 3 feet tall.
Oh, no way. About 6 inches,
tall?
7 inches. It's like
And he's like a G.I. Joe action figure. No, it's taller than that. It was like this tall.
You are out of your dick. It's basically a Ken doll. It has a big old head, but it's not big.
Okay,
it ain't Chucky.
First of all, Kevin is out of his mind. It's as tall as Chucky. It's just that it's skinny as a bone.
You're out of your damn mind. Continue.
I'm just ignore Kevin because I'm the one for the details.
You're the idea person.
So it's got like a Jerry curl. It's got little rice teeth, big eyes. It's mostly head, but then it's got like a bony body, bony arms. It's holding a spear. It's got like a loincloth, and then it's got like this literally like a gold chain like you would get out of the gumball machine and for a quarter wrapped around. And then there's like one of those fake stupid scrolls, which it's a Zuni voodoo doll, but the instructions are in English. But about, if the chain comes off, the soul of the hunter that was trapped inside comes to life. And then it just starts, I don't know, hunting whatever is around or something. So Karen Black is in all this drama. She calls up her boyfriend of 6 months to say, I'm canceling for your birthday at the last minute. He should have canceled her. Maybe he sent the Zuni doll. I thought that was bullshit. And then she doesn't even call her mom to say she's coming. So I thought that there was a little nonsense. It's pitch black outside. So when she picking her mom up at midnight because they're gonna go to are they one of those kids club things like in New York you used to see on Jerry Springer? They got to put on their day glow and their white lipstick and away they go. Got to get the light sticks going. So I don't know, because at midnight she seems to be taking a bath to go then out with her mother. Meanwhile, while she's taking a bath, spontaneously, because of karma, the universe, or her boyfriend's a witch, the chain pops off the doll and he disappears. Now,
are these the highlights, or is this just the play-by-play?
I'm giving you the mofo play-by-play. Because what you have to understand is nothing happens at first. So you're like lulled
or later.
Into the... Oh, man.
Shots fired.
All I can tell you is she comes out of the bath. Where are you? Because I often just talk to myself and my fetish dolls while I'm alone in my house. I usually keep those outside voices inside my head. Anyway, she can't find it. Oh, it must have rolled under the couch because that's what statues do. They just jump off the table and
inanimate objects are constantly just moving on their own in this world.
This is the poltergeist condo. We don't hear about this one as much as the big house. Anyway, the little bastard has come to life and he's got sharp teeth and a pointy stick. But she's taken the stick, so he helps himself to a steak knife that he carries around in his teeth. Oh my God. And he immediately just starts whacking at her legs, just cutting out chunks of it. Ding, ding,
There's
ding,
no
ding.
chunks. This is a made-for-TV movie.
I can feel it stinging. She's got like those old 70s steak knives. Because back then steak was like you're cutting it off a bison or something.
Ginsu.
So she goes and hides herself in the closet. Now the knife is under the door, sliding back and forth. I mean, she cannot get away from this, mostly because she's as dumb as a post. But
she's an imbecile. Let's call it what it is.
She's 100% an imbecile. At one point, she's smart enough to catch it in the suitcase, and it's carving its way off. She's on I don't know, I think she's pretending to be in New York. I still say she's in Pasadena. You got it in a suitcase, throw it out the goddamn window. She's got a huge patio. Throw it out the window. I don't care who it hits, as long as it's not hitting me.
She tries to drown it at one point. I'm like, you think that's going to work? Drowning?
It's a
Sweet
piece of
Jesus.
wood. It's a piece of wood.
It's a piece of shit.
It was all kinds of ridiculous nonsense. How about just walk out the fucking door and lock it behind you?
Well, one point, the doorknob is like rattling. The thing would have had to jump up and like hang on it, doing this stuff.
It was!
That's ridiculous. Madness.
This thing put up a hard fight. It was going to get some Karen Black, and then it was going to get some Karen Black mama. But at one point, she throws it in the oven because she's on top of her steaks that she was cooking for her boyfriend.
Mom.
And now, we don't know. It's screaming. That part was intense. I thought Karen Black was in the moment. She has got her back against the oven. She's got her feet on the counter holding back the door. And all I kept thinking is, ovens are hot.
They are. Little
so
known
she's
fact.
broiling steaks. Little known fact, that's about 500 degrees.
Well, it depends. It could be 500 degrees. It could be 350. You know, it's not like it's not a kiln or something.
Steak, you fry a steak, you barbecue a steak.
You grill a steak.
Okay, but you don't grill a steak in your oven at 350. The only time a steak goes in the oven is if you're broiling it.
Unless you're Karen Black does her own
some
thing.
Logic, Kevin. Come on.
You stupid bastard.
Either way, even if it was 250 degrees.
No, not 250 degrees. 100% 200. God damn it. I'm not a chef.
If it was 250, it would still be hot.
Yes.
And then it eventually catches on fire. And she's still got her back against it.
What is the temperature that wood catches on fire?
I'm not a mathematician. What?
You keep talking. I'm going to start Googling, so that's what you do when I'm talking.
So it's fabulous. It's screaming. It's bouncing around in there. And she is in the moment. This may be her finest performance. I argue that since I haven't seen a lot of her movies, of the movies that I have seen, this is her finest performance. She was afraid of the little monster with his sharp, oh my God, at one point it jumps up and sinks its rice teeth into her shoulder. That was so effed up. It was terrifying. It was like digging in, right where Spock would give you the pinch. It is sunk its teeth. Blood is dripping down. And then, wait, are you raising your hand? Are you still Googling when wood
I'm good.
catches
Okay,
fire?
300 degrees Celsius, 572 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
So she had to crank it up. I don't know. Do they run? Does a household stove run to like 600 degrees?
I don't know, but maybe in the 70s we could grill a steak or smelt iron.
That's what I'm wondering. Is she a blacksmith on the weekends?
We don't know what her job is. So
We do not.
It could be a smithy in New York / Pasadena.
We didn't even talk about that. Did she pick up the Zuni fetish doll at the Goodwill on 5th Avenue? I mean, where the hell was this damn possessed Zuni? She'd just come from Africa.
Is it the same place where you buy the gremlins? Like they had one in the back?
Yes.
You can get
clearly.
a gremlin, a Zuni hunter, a monkey paw, whatever. It's the Needful Things store.
Must be, right?
Right.
Good
it's
Lord.
a little Ray Bradbury. Clearly, because you can get anything in New York. Remember there used to be those series called The Oddities where people would go in and I need to have the skeletal mouse wedding set and weird things like that. Hey, I have 4 human femurs in the trunk of my car. Are you buying this?
That ain't good. If that's something you're just carrying around in the trunk of your car, that's bad. That is a bad situation. I thought you were going to say like Michael Jackson having like the Elephant Man's bones or something like that. Is that possible?
I mean, it's basically the same thing. People will come in, hey, I got a jar of raccoon penis bones. I would like to trade it
Just one jar?
for the taxidermied fetal child that you have on the Christmas tree.
Is this the Ed Gein Curio Shop? What is this place? I ain't going there.
You never watched that show? It was like they had the most effed up stuff, and then it was just filming people either buying the effed up stuff or bringing more effed up stuff in for like a store credit. I'll trade you my jar of narwhal dicks for.
Why is it always animal genitalia with you? That's my question.
Well, because you can make beautiful jewelry, except for maybe the narwhal weenus.
Well, I know what to get you for your birthday. Good Lord.
So anyway, that's where I think she bought it.
Okay, fair enough. Sweet Jesus.
So the best is the end. I mean, she opens the oven, the smoke comes out, and like the spirit has been freed and goes right down her 12-pack of Lucky Strikes a day windpipe. And now she is, in fact, the warrior.
Right.
And the final shot is Karen Black crouched. I mean, she was in it, holding that knife just like it, throwing the knife between her legs, just waiting. She's in a deep crouch. I don't think I've ever been able to get into a crouch that deep. She's doing yoga.
She's like a frog.
She's like so deep. It's like she's like the people like you see in Asia where they can just sit all the way down. Like feet and ass are both planted simultaneously.
Absolutely.
And she starts smiling, and now she has all the rice teeth while just sitting there waiting for her mom throwing the knife. One of the best scenes in horror
on Earth the world has ever known.
I don't even know. I'm not even sure you watched this. I think you just watched the first two and gave up, and now you're reading off Wikipedia. I call you a fraud. You're a fraud, sir.
If only I watched it on Wikipedia. Well, the good thing is, like I said, it's only about 71 minutes, and it's on Amazon Prime for free. So good.
Well, and honestly, you don't need to watch the first two stories. You go straight to the last one, and it's a short. Just think of it. You got about, it's like 15, maybe 20 minutes long. It will haunt you. It will haunt you.
The first two, okay, let's call it what it is. The first two suck.
The first two
suck.
Hence
the third one is all right.
No.
Let's call it what it is.
No. Wrong.
Okay. Moving on. Any last thoughts before we go behind the scenes?
Classic. Horror classic. The very end could be one of the top 10 scenes from a horror movie. I stand by that.
Okay. Again, guys, frankly, the scene she's talking about is about 20 minutes long. So if you fast forward to watch that, you can watch that and you're good to go, I guess, is the moral of the story, because the other two are nonsense and ridiculous. And
it's straight up, next time you go to World Market to get your like Hawaiian onion potato chips or weird salami, you'll walk right by
or weird salami. Is that code? I don't even want to know what that means.
It depends where your World Market is.
I guess
but they always have all this fake kind of Africana style decor. You ain't going to want to touch them. You're not going to want them in your house. You're not going to want to look at them at Cost Plus. There is no more Pier 1, so that's it.
There's no more Pier 1?
They closed all the Pier 1s here, so.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Well, where am I supposed to get my Zuni fetish dolls then?
Cost Plus!
Sweet Jesus. World Market?
World Market, Cost Plus. Why does it have two names? I don't know. Some people, I'm like, I'm going to go to Cost Plus. What's that? World Market? Oh.
Here's a fun game you could play. Is next time you go to Cost Plus, just look around, look at the pickled herrings or whatever the hell they have at the beginning of the shop.
They have a whole chicken in a can, and they have German wieners in clear liquid in a jar.
German wieners and narwhal penises. Anyway, Go find a salesperson. Just say, "Where do you keep your Zuni fetish dolls?" And see what they say.
And your weird salami.
And your weird. Okay, behind the scenes. Are you ready?
Oh, I feel like I'm drunk.
Yes. So these were all based upon short stories written by Richard Matheson, a famous. He wrote Incredible Shrinking Man. He wrote I Am Legend, which we know because it became Omega Man, of course.
And I Am Legend.
And I Am Legend and The Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price. Same thing.
But not the man who fell to Earth.
Not the man. As far as I know, I'm not his biographer. So the 3 short stories. The first one was called The Likeness of Julie. That was the one about the teacher who also is a witch who's being abused.
Right.
Anywho. Then the second one was called Needle in the Heart, which was also known as just Therese, which became that second story about voodoo and multiple personality disorder.
Yeah, way to give away the ending.
I know. Then your favorite one, the Zuni fetish doll, which is a little problematic racially. I mean, because it's basically a little like African savage. So
with a jerry curl.
With a full-blown soul glow jerry curl. Very upsetting. Based upon the short story called Prey.
Why isn't it called, since he's given away everything else, the Zuni fetish doll that's going to escape and try to kill you?
Right. The doll comes alive is what they should have called it.
You will die.
That's correct. You die. So there's that. Okay, let me check out some more good stuff here. Here's the thing. The guy who plays the rapist in the first story was Karen Black's husband at the time.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
Well, they had her dressed extra dowdy. So, I don't know. He did seem a little younger than her, but that was
not really. They both, again, Karen, if you're listening, no offense, she just doesn't do it for me. She got a little bit of a crazy cross-eye thing going on there. Just not my style.
She was very fit, though. I will tell you that. She was very fit.
She's fine. But, okay, so there's a scene where they're in the drive-in watching a movie. The movie they were watching was another made-for-TV movie for some reason. I don't think they show those at the drive-in. The Night Stalker, which became the
Not
TV
related
series.
to the Night Stalker, though.
Kolchak, the Night Stalker with Darren McGavin, eventually became that TV series.
And Darren McGavin, of course, we remember from A Christmas Story.
And from Your Love Dreams.
Oh, Darren McGavin.
It's all Darren McGavin and Meet You. Those are all the dreams. Oh, sweet Jesus. The original Zuni doll puppet owned by director Dan Curtis was used for the new sculpt of the Zuni doll in the sequel, Trilogy of Terror 2.
Dear. There was a sequel?
There was a sequel. And, of course, they brought back the Zuni fetish doll. Yes. I think it was from the 90s, if I'm remembering correctly. And I think it was theatrically released, unless I've lost my mind.
No, I think somebody lost their mind if there was a part 2.
And like I said earlier, on Brazilian television, the censorship demanded the third segment was completely cut. So they changed their name to Two Horror Stories.
Two boring stories. Is that what you said?
Duas historias de terror, which means 2 horror stories.
2 stories or duo storia dormire.
Yes. Dormire, exactly. That's the exact translation. The crew trying to make the Zuni doll come to life kept on laughing because sometimes bits fell off like an arm or a head.
That just makes it better.
Yep. Richard Matheson actually adapted the third story, whereas the other things were based upon his work, but he didn't actually write the scripts. He insisted on writing the third one because he felt this had to be the scariest one in the trilogy.
Absolutely. It was jacked up. You didn't freak you out when those little rice teeth sunk into her neck? I think you were already asleep at that point. How dare you? How dare you, sir?
Okay, you were like, what, 8 when this movie came out? And it made an indelible impression upon you.
I am
a grown-ass
when
man.
I saw that. I think I saw it in high school or college, maybe.
The
I have
idea
no
of
idea.
the idea of grinning and showing fang-like teeth similar to the Zuni doll, because later at the end when she's actually now
Yes.
the Zuni thing, so she had sharp fangs as well. That was Karen Black's idea that she should have fangs.
Yes. She's a genius, clearly.
Yep. Let's see. We talked about how bizarre it is. Like the third story, it's like her domineering mother they always have dinner or hang out on Friday nights, but she was canceling because she wanted to spend time with her boyfriend for his birthday. Then she cancels on the boyfriend, but then doesn't seem to make any effort to actually go see the mom.
No.
So it's like a forgotten plot point. It makes no sense at all.
Oops, forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh, but anyway, Karen Black, the whole speech on the phone talking to her mom was all improvised by Karen Black. It all came from her I guess she felt that the original conversation was just it didn't have enough stank on it for her taste. So there you go. Good times.
All stories of women kind of being victimized, all of them.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. But it goes back to that thing where you're just like, why was Karen Black such a huge star that they had to make sure that she's the star of every segment?
It was probably, I wonder if it was anyone else. I think maybe that was the deal where they were going to pick someone. Well, is the rest of the cast all the same?
No. It's just her. Everybody else. Now, Karen Black plays 2 roles in the second one.
That's right.
So, good times.
She's got children to take care of. She got mouths to feed.
I
want to be billed at all 4 different ones. I want to be paid. Each role gets a separate paycheck.
Shall we talk about the cast?
Well, we should. I think Karen Black's in it, I heard.
She is the star of the show. She carries it, baby. Okay. Karen Black, as you know, played Julie, Millicent, Therese, and Amelia. She died in 2013.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Rest in
Karen
peace,
Black.
Karen Black.
Kevin made me talk bad about you. Don't haunt me.
It's true. She was in 5 Easy Pieces in 1970. She was in The House of 1,000 Corpses much later. Good Lord, what a horrible. Guys, do yourself a favor. This is a horror science fiction podcast, and we're telling you never go see something written, directed, in any way related to Rob Zombie. Just don't do it.
There are people who ride and die with him.
They love him.
Understand that. I don't
they
understand
love him.
that.
Not me, baby. She was in Nashville with Robert Altman directing. She was in The Great Gatsby with Robert Redford. So she was in quite a few things.
She was
back
huge,
in the day.
But then things started to taper off, it appears.
Took a dark turn.
I hope you invested well.
She was an Oscar. She was the Oscar nominee in 1971 for Best Actress in a Supporting Role, 5 Easy Pieces. So there you go. She was also the Chainsaw Award winner for Best Supporting Actress for House of 1,000 Corpses.
Oh, Jesus.
Whatever that means. Let's see. Chad Foster was played by Robert Burton. That was the guy who was her husband. He did some As the World Turns. He was on the Lassie TV series. He was on Dynasty. You know him, don't you?
I do see there's a lot of crossover between soap stars and horror movies.
It's true. Let's see. George
and the
Gaines.
Porn industry.
Sadly. George Gaines played her doctor in the second segment. You know him because he was Punky Brewster's adopted father on Punky Brewster. He was in the Police Academy movies. He was in Tootsie. He was actually in a movie we did a couple years ago called Altered States. He was the one looking at the X-rays. We're like, these look like the X-rays of a gorilla. And we couldn't understand why a medical doctor would have an extensive knowledge of the gorilla skeletal structure, but that's neither here nor there.
But William Hurt, another one that bit the dust.
Poor William Hurt. Let's see. Gregory Harrison.
So here's my Gregory Harrison story. I recognize him. I wrote it down. So way back when I was in junior high, there was a TV series based on Logan's Run, and Gregory Harrison played the lead role. He also went on to be on Trapper John MD. But there was a girl at Ray McCree Junior High who sat next to me in choir,
Mhm.
and she was related to Gregory Harrison. So some here back in the Doherty archives, I have an autographed picture of him dressed in his Logan's Run gear with like a little note. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, was he Logan?
Yes.
Or was he the other dude? I don't know.
No,
What was
no,
the other
he
guy's
played
name?
Logan. He was the star.
He was
He
Michael
played
York.
he was dark curly haired Michael York in the series, and
So
then went
who the
on
hell?
to Trapper John MD.
I see he's in this playing the role of Arthur Moore, and I
Okay,
have no
at
idea
the
who that
end
is.
of the first show, when she's moved
Yes.
to a new college, he opens the door and is the tutor. I need help with the tutoring, blah, blah, blah. That was a young Gregory Harrison.
So he's literally in 10 seconds of this movie.
10 seconds.
Okay.
That's it.
Makes sense.
He had
Makes
one
sense.
line.
But it was a very memorable line.
I
as you can
recognized
imagine.
him. I kept thinking, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? And then it said Gregory Harrison.
Let's talk about the ratings, shall we? Since we're
Do
4
it.
hours into this.
I mean,
Let's see.
are there ratings when this was made for TV? What did
There
TV
were
Guide say
ratings.
about it?
Rex Reed did not have anything to say about it, I'm
No.
sad to say. Currently, Trilogy of Terror, 93%.
See?
Based upon 14 reviews. Audience score, 5,000 plus ratings, 56%. That's a little closer to accurate, in my opinion. Shall we look at top critics?
Do it. Who reviews TV?
There's only one top critic here. It is somebody named Jeremiah Kipp from Slant Magazine in 2006.
I don't
And
know
his
anything
only-
you just said. It sounds
You know
so
him, don't
made
you?
up. It sounds so made up, everything you just said.
He's from the QAnon movie review show. It just simply says it's the Karen Black Show, and and his review is 3.5 out of 4. So there you go. That's a good review. That's better than I'm giving it. That's for show. What you got?
I am giving it, and I'm ignoring the first two stories.
That is not allowed. You
No.
cannot say only the last 10 minutes am I going to review.
This is the Aaron multiverse. So I'm saying that it is 4 out of 5 rice teeth bites to the neck and a kick in the ass.
I am going to do 2.5 out of 5 split personalities with a splash of misspelled voodoo.
I mean,
That's what
it's
I say.
America, and we do have freedom of speech, even if you're wrong. So, I mean, you have the right to your opinion, I guess.
I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Oh my God, we can't even coordinate it.
No, it's a sad situation. But it is not horrendously horrible, because it's only 71 minutes. It is decidedly mediocre at best. Even your terrifying Zuni fetish doll, mostly problematic rather than frightening.
The iconic scene of the top 10 scenes in all horror movies of all time? Is that the scene you meant?
Wait. Top 10 most frightening scenes of all time is the crazy little doll chasing people around with a steak knife. Is that what you're telling me?
Corretto.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Well, they knew that's where their bread was buttered because they brought that damn doll back, 25 years later. So who's to say?
Why can't it battle Chucky? Where's that? What about the Zuni fetish doll versus Alien? Again, where's Hollywood?
We're giving away pearls. That's all I'm saying.
Know. I'm waiting for my check, Hollywood.
So, thank you very much. Go to our page on Twitter at TPodcast, TWDie. Go to our page on Facebook at The Podcast That Wouldn't Die. Aaron, Instagram, is it just a mystery?
I'm on the gram and the
But
Insta.
are we on the gram, though? I
Oh,
know
yeah.
you are.
Oh, you mean the podcast?
Yes, that's what I mean. Have you been drinking again?
Would that I'm hepped up on the caffeine. Would that be the podcast that wouldn't die? It is in fact on the Insta and the gram and the Twitsker and the Gmail.
Sweet Jesus. You can also email us at the podcast that wouldn't die at
Gmail.
We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere the finer podcasts are available. So make sure that you like, share, rate, and review if you will. Now, Aaron, as you alluded to mere moments ago, you are also on social media?
I'm on the social media. I'm on the Twits. I'm on the Insta. I am the Cult of Aaron and Don't Feed the Pigeon. You can buy my art on Artsy, First Dibs, whatever. You could just Venmo me cash, whatever.
Whatever floats your boat, right? We're not turning it down.
We're not turning it down. We're not saying you have to give us money, but we're not going to turn it down. If I see $5 in the street, I'm going to pick it up. I might look around to see if anybody's searching, and then it's going to go in my pocket.
If you'd like to give us money, we will take it off your hands. That is for sure. Next week, we'll be discussing the horror classic, werewolf-inspired. We're going to watch Silver Bullet, the classic starring Gary Busey, Corey Haim. It's an all-star cast.
You never told me this was what was in store for me. Gary Busey and Corey Haim, so everyone is dead in this movie?
Is Gary Busey dead?
Isn't he? Or is it just everyone is either dead or been on the old Celebrity Rehab?
That's possible. That is possible. You can watch it for free if you have Paramount Plus. If you don't, you're going to have to fork over some cash to Amazon Prime.
Damn you, Jeff Bezos! More money for your fist-like rocket.
Very upsetting. So check that out. Send us your favorite scenes, favorite quotes, anything else you'd like to know, for God's sakes. So there you have it. Thank you very much, and be well.
Later, children.